Hi everyone, this is Kirei designing for Arden Creative Studio, and I'm super excited to be here with my very first layout using the fabulous Hidden Creek collection designed by Katie Petit. So I've focused on using those fabulous pattern papers, but I'm also using the new craft dies, the one that's called Fern Valley. So I've pulled three papers out. I've used the 12 by 12 paper pad, and I have the large, it's the fern background with the butterflies and script on it. And then I've pulled this plainer green, like grid design, and then the blue and green plaid. Now I've got 6 photos here, so I'm going with a bit of a favorite for me in the last year. I've really been going for sort of multi-photo layouts to allow me to tell my story. But when you have so many photos, I just want to get them scrapbooked. But I just don't end up doing them all. So probably in the last year, just really started to look at how I could get more photos onto a layout. And so that's what I'm doing here. I do print them smaller. I use a little Canon Selfie at home printer, and that way it gives me a load of flexibility. So I've just mounted my 6 photos on the 2 pattern papers. Oh, they're the lovely laser cut elements in the collection. They are so detailed, super, really fine. Have to be a little bit careful when you're pushing them out of the paper. But yeah, they're so lovely. So I've got my 2 photo strips, and then what I'm going to do, I really loved the fern background paper because my photos are from a cruise I went on last year with my mum and dad. We cruised from Sydney, and we went up to the South Pacific. And our first port of call was Mystery Island, and it really is mystery. It's very tiny. Nobody actually lives there, but the locals from a nearby island do come over and are there with. They've got stalls, and they serve drinks and food and different things. So yeah, so I felt like the fern paper was quite sort of tropical, which worked with my photos, which is why I went down that road. And I just decided that I would use that, and then I would build up the ferns from the background to create a more dimensional effect. Now, there's this fabulous die set that's come out. It's called Fern Valley, and I decided I would die cut a number of more ferns, so I could just keep building on that because I've got the ferns from the laser cuts, but I've also, here we go, there they are. And I've used the 8 by 8 paper pad. I've used a green, I've used an olive green check, and then 2 sort of bluey green floral designs. And I use those to cut out a mix of the different fern dies. And then I'm just going to layer that up over the background paper so I can get that sort of dimensional effect. And that's something that I actually really love to do with my layouts, is certainly add texture. So you'll tend to see distressed edges and then layers. So that way it's not completely flat. I don't tend to stick anything completely flat. So yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I will just start playing around with these. And this is typical of my process. I'll sort of work with everything with the ephemera pieces. I'll pull everything out, play around with it on the layout until I'm really happy with what I've got together. I'll usually take a photo, and then I can start building it up. So yeah, so effectively here, that's what I've been doing. I've had a look, I've worked out the sorts of where things are going to go, and I'm going to start building the ferns down the left side of the photos and then around along the bottom. So it's sort of cascading down, if you like. Now, what I'm actually doing here is I am actually just curving the edges of the leaves. Now, they're so tiny. I mean, those dies they just honestly cut like butter. It's lovely. And they're really fine details, those ferns. And I'm just curving the edges up just again to give me that dimension. And then I've got some of the smaller laser die cuts as well that I'm building up too. And I've pulled out, there's the little bench, which I'm just adding the foam pads to the background. So this is how I'm getting some other dimension. So I've got the little wooden bench, and I'm going to add that over there to the left. And then I can tuck in some of the tippets that I've got there behind it. And then and it just sits over those ferns. So yeah, so I'll just keep working on this, fiddling around, working out where things are going to go, getting things stuck down. I'm not the quickest scrapper. I do tend to be, I'm always about everything's got to be just right. So I'll probably try it in about, half a dozen different locations until I settle on one. So yeah. Anyway, I think in a moment what you'll see is it will move on and you've got really the idea of what I'm doing here, and you'll see how it's coming together. So here we go. There we go. I've got them stuck down now around the bottom. I'll just trim off the excess overhang and then I can keep finishing and working with it. So I've got the little compass down there, and I've got foam pads on the back of that. I've got some butterflies. I've got a heart. I don't actually use the heart in the end. I've got some of the little insects. Now there's a load of little bugs in the ephemera pack, and I thought I definitely have to add some of those in. So I've got a yellow one, a green one, and a teal one that I'm just tucking in underneath my fern clusters. Got my just stuck down the compass. Got a title there, Explore More, but I was looking at the other one that says Wander and Wonder, but I felt the Explore More popped a little bit more from the layout. And then I've got some more of the ephemera die cut words or sayings, I should say. So I've got taking it all in, the great outdoors, new discoveries, enjoy the journey, and this place. So I've just pulled out ones that suited my photos for starters, but also the colours. I've got the greens and the blues and a bit of the brown in there as well. And I will again use foam pads on some of them, not all of them. And the ones that I don't use foam pads on, I will generally just sort of curve up the edges. So again, I get a little bit of dimension, certainly the little banner ones, rather than them being completely flat. My butterfly I've just stuck down. I've just stuck down from the centre so that I can still get the lift from the wings. Right, I'm still playing around with that title. You can tell I'm not quite decided yet. I do quite like the Wander and Wonder, but I think I do go back to using the Explore just because I think it was more the bluey tone, and I felt that just sort of tied in really nicely with the colours that I'd really focused on for this layout. I'm obviously very much about the greens and the blues. I do have there's a little pop of yellow there, but yeah. So the Explore More does come back, but I often do that. Put things down, leave it for a while I'm looking at it, and just make a decision, ultimately, once I've really decided. So, yeah. Okay, so just getting that last one, I think, stuck down there. And then now at the top, I've got one of the cameras. That's from the laser die cuts. Now, I know I want to do something up there because I feel like I've got quite a lot of space, and I'm fine with of white space. However, I felt like I needed something up there just to balance the layout. So you'll see what I do a little bit later on. So here we go. I have decided on my title finally. So I have the Explore More title, and I am just using foam pads on the back of that. Now I tend to use a sheet of sticky back foam, and I just cut it into the sizes that I want because it just really works for me. Here you go. You can see I'm just deciding on that. Where is the title going to go? Just double checking in case it might, I should move it down. But no, I decided to go there because I wanted to add my journaling below my title. I wanted to make sure I had some room for that. So yeah. So I'm just going to using a pencil, just drawing my lines for my journaling, which I will do off camera. But yeah, so nearly got that down. Now I've pulled in the coordinating enamel dots. So I'm just pulling out just a few of them. And as always, I tend to I can just stick these straight down. But then I fiddle around and decide, are they okay there? Is that the right colour? Etc. As you can see me moving around. But anyway, it's fine. I will get some enamel dots on around my embellishment clusters. And then what's next? Oh, I think it might be the top. Let's have a look. We're going to move on in just a moment. Here we go. So yes, so I've decided to just do a little fold on the corner there and then add one of the pattern papers just behind it. So, and I'm going to use the blue and green plaid that I've already used to back one of my photo strips. So yeah, and then I did think about doing a little cluster up there, but you'll see what happens because I do play around a little bit, but wasn't completely sure. So and here I am I'm making a bit of a mess of trying to get this stuck down and making sure that it's still straight. But anyway, I do get there in the end. I put it down and then think, oh no, it's not quite right. Pull it off. Let's start again. So yeah, I will get it done. get it stuck down in just a moment. There we go. So I'm happy. I like how there's just that little pop of blue and green. You can see here, I'm just fiddling around with some of those little embellishments there, just figuring out what am I going to do? Am I going to add something, one of the butterflies or the hearts or another? I'm not sure. I don't feel like I need it, but I'm happy with the folded over corner. And then I'm just distressing the edges. And then I do end up just deciding I'm going to just add some staples in just a moment just to hold it down. Because I know I want to hold it down, but yeah. So here we go. Just bringing in my tiny attacher, and then I've got a few staples, and I'm happy with that. I'm still trying there, but no, I'm happy with that. And there we go. There is the final layout. I hope you've enjoyed watching the process video. It's been lovely working with this fabulous new collection, and I'm excited to play around with some of the other lovely elements that are part of the Hidden Creek collection. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye for now.